ever get lonely, I got these ghosts to keep me company. I took the
Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy Show. We're back in downtown Boca Raton. It's cooled off a little. Govy is back from his well-deserved vacation up north. He went to a bar mitzvah, his brother's son, at the Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, which is an amazing spot. They have all these food. Why don't you tell us? I bet that was an amazing. You didn't really tell me about it. It was probably amazing.
No, it was cool. You know, they rent out. I didn't know that the Reading Terminal you can
So
rent out.
there's no other people in there besides you guys?
Just us, just rented out the whole thing. You get to choose which vendors you want. So you get to choose out of all.
Did they have a Philly soft pretzel guy?
Oh, we had that. There was a cheesesteak guy. There was the Knicks for pork sandwiches, roast. It was like Bassett's, their ice cream. Then they had all the games. It was just great. They had
love that Reading Terminal.
Yeah, they made it like you can make a baseball card and stuff, giveaways. It was just. So
what do they do? All the people that normally go there on a Saturday night, they just tell them it's closed.
This was on Thursday. This was on Thursday night,
right?
And they have a way to separate, and they. You know, I guess where the tables are, where people can congregate to eat, they clear that out, and they have all these different games and everything.
So I talked to Govy a couple times when he was up there in Philadelphia, and I almost felt like he was getting ready to move back there.
Never.
He was going to leave Boca Raton and go back to Philadelphia.
It was 60
He
degrees.
was telling me he's in a fabulous house. He's on the grounds. He's this, he's that. His dog Tito was there. He was happy.
Tito played with the foxes. There was deer. There was a beaver. There was it was unbelievable. But it was 60 degrees and it was raw and damp and it's in the middle of May. So who wants to go back up there?
Right. And there's not that many great restaurants.
You got to drive everywhere. Florida blows it away.
It's crazy. Philadelphia is the 5th largest city in the country, and the main artery is the Schuylkill Expressway. Now down here in Florida, it's 6 lanes in each.
We call it 76, you know, for anybody that...
Yeah, 76. In Florida, there's 6 lanes in each direction on I-95. Philadelphia, the major road, 76, 2 lanes.
And it's very narrow. So if you're used to being down here and you come up there, it's an accident waiting to happen. That's how narrow these lanes are.
Right. I would hate to be taking, a pregnant woman to the hospital on the Schuylkill Expressway.
Stop signs and speed bumps everywhere in the suburbs.
How about the potholes?
Potholes, speed bumps. It's crazy. But
well, it's a big week in the news. The biggest story in the news this week is Taylor Swift. Maybe not getting engaged. Maybe the engagement's off. I'm going to win the bet. Govy said they're getting married. I'm saying no marriage. Taylor Swift. And the other big news is Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez calling it quits. It looks like Ben's looking for his own house. I mean, this is bigger news than Trump.
How many houses has he bought because of her?
I don't even know. I mean, they just keep buying houses.
It's like...
And A-Rod, too. They just keep buying houses.
Yeah. By the way, is he coming back in the picture?
The only thing I have to say is, what is this? Is it the guys or is it Taylor Swift and Jennifer Lopez? Why do these women go through guys like crazy? I mean, it's insane.
Well, they're complicated. I mean,
they're complicated.
No, Taylor Swift's much more complicated than J-Lo. She has a career. But you look at the positive. I just want you say that she travels and she does all this.
I wouldn't want to date her.
As far as her tour goes, this is a tour. She might not have to go on tour for 5 years. And she's going to do in the studio. She can do anything she wants. If she said, you know what, I want to be a judge on The Voice for 2 years, she's a judge. Or she's on American Idol. Or she can be a podcast. She can literally do whatever she wants in her house if she wanted a studio. She doesn't have to go anywhere.
All right, so I'm going to disagree with you. I dated / was in a relationship. Obviously nowhere like a Taylor Swift. But they are the most insecure people on earth. They watch their ratings, and when they go down a bleep, they panic. They go in a complete state of panic. So I don't think Taylor Swift's taking her foot off the gas. She's just going hard.
Well, the only time that she slightly panics where she said that that's something important, when she releases an album, it's like an artist. It's like an artist that paints, that finishes a painting, and they want to know what people think. So when she creates an album, she wants to know, like, how's it how do people think of that album? Her past albums, she doesn't care what anybody really thinks now because it's already platinum. It's already proven.
Right.
So the only thing she worries about is the new one. Now the new one came out. It's already a hit. She can ride on that for...
But I'm saying, look at Travis Kelce. The guy's got $100 million or whatever he has. He's a good-looking guy. He's got girls coming after him left and right. I don't think he's hanging in there long term.
Why not? I mean, what's she bothering him? He wants to have a kid. There's a kid. They have everything. Everything's easy. He likes it. By the way, you're talking about a guy that wants to be in the limelight. He had his own dating show. Who's dating Travis Kelce?
Right.
So the guy loves being in the limelight. If you like being in the limelight, where can you be any better than being in the shadow of Taylor Swift?
Anyway, Govy, we have so much between Trump and Biden, and our reels are going crazy. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple. But
I got some winners. I got some losers. We can
go ahead. You go. Winners and losers. I just ripped this thing out of the New York Post. This is a loser right here.
All right,
I'll go with your winners.
I'll get to it. Just winners. Let's just go quickly in sports. You got the Philadelphia Phillies. They're having
killing it.
They're having the best season so far in their history of like 147 years. So, I mean, that's really something special, especially if you're a Phillies fan. The New York Knicks have nothing to be embarrassed about. They simply broke down at the end. Every single person was hurt, and they did. What a great year. They are a winner. Then you have...
So you're giving them winner status?
Winner status. They
Even though they were blown out?
Because people are
They were
excited.
up 2-0. They lost the series?
They lost every player, got hurt. Even Brunson broke his hand at the last game. So, I mean, the fans are happy. They won them over with the heart that they put in there.
Villanova boys.
Villanova boys. You got winners are the Indiana Pacers, the Boston Celtics, Minnesota, and Dallas. You got the New York Rangers and the...
Whoa, stay on basketball. Who do you like all the way?
I like it to be Minnesota and the Boston Celtics, and I like Minnesota to win the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like the Pacers?
No. But and then in hockey, you got the Florida Panthers going against the Rangers. This Panther team. I mean, it got to the Stanley Cup last year. Us being down here, like, you know, the only fans that are really here are the ones that go to the stadium. But they're really starting to get like a fan base down here. I mean, I hate to tell the Flyers that since it's 1975, we can have a Stanley Cup champion down here.
And do they sell out the games down here in
yes,
Florida?
They now do. But just by the way, 4 years ago, I mean, I was going to the games for like $7 on a ticket.
Well, the Marlins, the baseball team down here, what do they get? 5,000? Yeah, it's a gorgeous stadium. What do they get?
They're already selling the less. It's a joke. You can buy
5,000.
You can buy tickets for literally $5.
Insane. You know, I heard of a new ticket. I saw it on Instagram because I watch our reels. It's this new ticket agency that you buy the tickets 5 minutes after the game starts.
Yeah.
So you can get the ticket. Let's say it's $200 face value. You can get it for like $20, a great seat, because the game had already started. So if you're going to go watch basketball, well, it all happens in the last quarter. So what's the difference if you're 5 minutes late?
I'm going to tell you something crazy. You see, I like that type of thinking.
Right.
What I don't understand, I'm going to take that same situation where you have you have to explain this to me. If you want the cheapest airline ticket out there, you want to say fly from Miami or Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles, and you went out 3 months, you can get your ticket. Let's just say it's $350. We're talking a coach seat for argument's sake.
Well, I have long legs. Coach doesn't work for me.
my legs are short. That's actually my wife has longer legs. But but the point is, I'm always curious of why the ticket is more expensive as you get closer to when you take off. And then the day of, like literally an hour before the flight takes off, if there's 5 extra seats on the plane, it used to be a lot of extra seats, not as much anymore. If it's going to go empty, why not just make that, if you want to be standby, which is most people don't take that chance because they have, you know, it can't be a trip, it can't be anything. But if you want to be standby, why can't they just take anything? Why should it be that it's $1,000 for a ticket that should be $99? It's like, I don't get it.
Well, I'm assuming it's supercomputers that involve analytics. and they analyze how many seats are left on the plane, what the traffic pattern was last year, and that's how they raise and lower the prices. Now, when you get down, like Cutman Jr.'s coming tomorrow. He bought his ticket 15 minutes ago. I just got the text from him. And so I don't know what he paid. We're going to find out if your theory's right, whether he paid a lot or a little.
I'm just saying, if it's like I said, if you have a family or you're going somewhere and you have to be there you're not going standby. But someone like Lil Cuddy Jr., he could sit there and say, you know, let me come on down to see you. I'm just going to go to the airport, see what I get.
Well, he flies out of LaGuardia. It's tough. I mean, to get to the schlep to the airport and, all that shit. But, yeah, we'll see if your theory is right. I think he's flying JetBlue.
All you have to do is check your bills. You'll know if it's
right.
I don't have to ask Cuddy Jr. I just have to check your market.
Well, hopefully he used points. I mean, hopefully he used points. All right, what other winners you got, Govy?
I got Donald Trump right now is winning everything.
He's going to win that trial.
Yeah, not only is it going to be a hung jury, he's going to win the...
How's he going to get it? The jury instructions are going to kill this
because
guy.
He's already winning because the whole world is now exposed to what a horrible judge and how the guy is doing a rally tonight in the Bronx. And they're like, everybody's blasting him like they think they're busting in people from Long Island. It's not. He's getting the minorities. He's getting blacks and Hispanics.
He's getting a lot of minorities.
And by the way, that's the key.
You got Nikki Haley. She's a minority.
Yeah, but he raised, I think, the blacks for him is like a 23%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough to win the election right there.
But you hear all the black pundits on TV, they do say they eventually will come home to Joe Biden. Right now,
no way.
They're saying they're voting for Trump. But election day or mail-in ballot or whatever.
So, listen, you have a guy like Joe Biden today. He's giving, he's with the president of Kenya. He already knows the questions that are coming, and he still can't answer them correctly. The debate will be a joke. There will be no debate because he can't answer a question that he has the answers to. And finally, he got flabbergasted today. And when someone asked him this long question, he answered it with yes. It was like
I did see that.
He goes,
I
yes.
did hear it on the radio.
I mean, it was like I was waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a deep answer, isn't it?
He asked the girl, "Wait, can you repeat that question?" Because he forgot the question.
Right.
And then she repeated the question. And then he said yes.
And he had the answer there, but he couldn't bother reading the answer. So,
but I have a thing about the Trump trial.
Yeah.
Is Trump's defense lawyer allowed to go in front of the jury and say to the jury, "Look, this case is just not fair. Every witness we put on the judge was almost treating them as though he was on the prosecution's team. The judge would not let our witnesses answer, describe, and explain. We had a second witness. He wouldn't let him come on to testify about election law. I mean, the substance of this case. Are they allowed to badmouth the judge for closing statements to the jury?
Well, that's an interesting question. Why it's really complicated now. That a simple question like that is: did you ever see a judge let these guys, the jury, go home for 8 days? So when you sit there and you say, what are they going to be told? They're going right back into the pond that they fish in. So, I mean, they're going to have a ton of their friends and coworkers are going to sit there and say, by the way, this judge has been mistreating them. Or you might have some to say, do your job. Just find the guy guilty. I mean, they're going to know what's being said. And if I was a person that hated Donald Trump and I was on this jury, I would at least put on Fox News or something just to hear the other side.
I do. I watched that CNN. That Ellie Honig is great on CNN.
Oh, you and 3 other people are listening to her. That's about it.
Why, the ratings?
The ratings are the worst that's ever been for CNN.
Really?
The worst. I mean, MSNBC's kicking their butt.
I like CNN.
Matter of fact, I think Lower Merion television station outdrew CNN the other night.
I go there to see if who's the lawyer who rubbed one off. I like to watch Jeffrey Toobin. I like to watch him.
But MSNBC, Donnie Deutsch, this guy's embarrassing right now.
I know.
Boy, oh boy.
I used to see him at the airport all the time in the Hamptons. Anyway, going back to Trump and the jury instructions and the jury, I think that would they be allowed to say to the jury, look, jury, they think you guys are a bunch of chumps. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. They're talking Stormy Daniels about sex and condoms and all. It has nothing to do with this case. Are they allowed to do that?
Yeah.
So let's see them do it. Let's see if they say something like that. They're treating you like idiots and chumps, and like you're not going to know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a chance it might not even, these 8 days, the whole country is looking at, Garland. He just, by the way, brought a lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
I heard that guy.
So, I mean, here's this guy. You have people that are coming across the border.
Wait a second. Live Nation, I heard him on an interview, says he makes 1.7%. Do you believe that? It's just not realistic.
No, that's just not I don't think they're the real.
1.7% profit margin. Who works on 1.7?
I think they actually sell so many of the seats to a third party that then raises them way above the ticket prices that he's probably part owner of, and he's collecting
on the other side.
Got it. So he's making 1.7% on a ticket that says $100 face value, but when it's $4,000, he's making himself probably 30%.
Right.
But I do think that Garland right now has a situation where he might dismiss this. I mean, because look,
you're dreaming.
You know what he has coming up?
They're going to let it go.
He's going to need all his clout for Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden has 2 cases, and by the way, he's dead in the water on the gun charge. I mean, dead in the water.
Gets off.
So he
gets off.
How can he get off?
He's getting off.
Now he's dead. How about the 3 witnesses that are coming?
He's getting off.
3 exes are going to be.
He gets probation.
No way.
Yeah. Okay. So he gets a 3-month jail sentence.
There is no probation.
Okay. He gets a 3-month jail sentence at a country club prison with the Secret Service get to go with him. So how bad is that? I'd do it.
They might take the Secret Service from him. Maybe they just say, by the way, you don't need it in here.
But talk about sugar daddy or whatever. He's not paying the bills anymore.
Well, by the way, it just came out, which is it's getting so, confusing that I kind of stay up with it. So do you. But if you were just like,
I always said, who's paying his bills?
How about the story that it came out that they weren't able to investigate the sugar daddy brother because the CIA put a stop to that.
All right,
explain, why is the CIA protecting? They're saying that the CIA maybe paid Hunter Biden's taxes.
Let's give a little foundation. The sugar daddy is the guy that bought Hunter Biden's paintings and also has been paying his taxes,
$7 million
and legal bills.
Legal bills, everything.
And you're saying the CIA and the government is really fronting the money? It
might be. And now the sugar
Where'd you
daddy,
read that? The National Enquirer?
No, I read that the CIA basically did not let the investigative team, Weiss's team, interview the sugar daddy guy. Why?
That's because he's a lawyer, and maybe it's
you're allowed to. It's about the case. I mean, it's like you can't have hands off on a guy.
Attorney-client privilege.
Well, that goes out the door. Look at Trump's attorney-client. I mean, they're able to take all his stuff. Then you have, by the way, so Garland has that to worry about. Now Garland has to answer that when he raided Mar-a-Lago, he basically gave them that they have the permission to kill.
Who are they going to kill?
I don't know. I mean, like, but he did have it.
Are they going to shoot the Secret Service?
But I do want you to know, when in Afghanistan, when we were withdrawing our troops, they did not have authority to shoot to kill the bomber who ended up blowing up 13 Americans. They were told to stand still, did not have that thing. They actually had more latitude to go into Mar-a-Lago than they did in Afghanistan. And that came from Garland, he says, but it's probably Biden also. I mean, so there's a lot.
Look at this girl. She's got a sweater on. It's 90 degrees out. She's walking around with a sweater.
Well, I'm looking at her dog. Her dog is her dog is from Alaska. So, I mean, they're both I don't get that. But anyway, that
should be part of the tourism commercial for Florida. It's really not that hot down here. Look, she's wearing a
90
sweater.
degrees. I mean, it's like her dog is like from Alaska.
Right.
It's like, that's kind of crazy. So then you have By the way, you have the ICC that they're all going into. Another loser.
So we're out of winners already?
Well, no, because the winners, if you want to...
the fact that our oil reserve, our strategic oil
out of winners.
reserve...
We're out of winners.
That's not a winner?
No.
Joe Biden just tapped the strategic oil reserve,
Again.
folks. Our gas light is on yellow right now, and he tapped it for the last drops of oil for Memorial Day weekend.
So you could feel a little better at the pump.
So instead of paying $5.25 a gallon, you're going to pay $5.20.
Yeah, I mean it's bizarre.
And now we have no protection. Zero. We have no oil saved
It's not
up.
like we have any conflicts in the world going on right now, do we?
All right, that's not a winner.
So then you have the other.
Well, Ukraine's a winner because they're out of the. Who even heard of them anymore?
No, they're just taking the money and spending it right now. This is the greatest thing in the world. They're just spending money. No one's even looking at them right now. But you got Hamas, who basically
they're winning.
They're winning. They're winning the. Who would think that people that are living in a tent right now actually are winning the information war? Like, how does that happen? They're winning like the information war, and they're living in a tent with no electricity. But you got another loser, Biden's rally. He did one in New Hampshire yesterday. 20 people showed up.
Is it really 20 people came?
Well, he brought 20 of his own, and then there was additional 20. So it was 40 total. But, I mean, that's it. I mean, no one wants to see the guy. I mean, who wants to go there and see a guy stumble and read? You got another loser. You got Fannie Willis.
She won her election. She's a winner.
No, because they're going to maybe pull it. They're going to strip her of her license.
Her lover showed up at the party.
I know. He had to
These
wear a name
people have
badge.
no shame. They just don't care.
I know.
Guy shows up at the party.
That was pretty funny. Another real loser that's really from interesting. This P. Diddy, he's going down.
I don't think so.
He's going down. Again, you don't think he's going down either? What, too powerful?
Yeah. I think, look, you have all these people like Will Smith, Mel Gibson, P. Diddy. They, what was his name? Herman, the guy. Pee Wee Herman that died. They all morph into something. Maybe they're not at the level they were at, but it's an early retirement. Like Will Smith isn't dead. Mel Gibson still did another movie. They're all
Harvey Weinstein is already making a movie, and it's starring R. Kelly and P. Diddy. He already has the 2 stars. It's going to be a documentary.
Really?
I don't know, but they're sitting there with him.
According to the New York Post, big time people were calling him in jail to get him into these parties, pre-parties for the whatever it was, the Oscars or whatever it was last week. But anyway, I cut this thing out. Another loser is America and inflation. Let me read this to you. Since Joe Biden took office, this is the increase in McDonald's food. French fries are up 167% in the last 3 years. Big Mac is up 103%. This is the inflation numbers. 10-piece McNuggets, 95%. A hamburger Happy Meal, 140% in the last 3 years. I mean, it's just staggering.
Well, as Joe Biden would say, he likes to build the country from the middle down or up or whatever. So he tries to make now, who do you think this hurts the most? Do you think it hurts the rich guy that goes in there to a drive-thru?
Like Warren Buffett, who goes there every morning?
Yeah, that wants his Big Mac. And if they told Warren Buffett your Big Mac's $28, Warren Buffett doesn't really care. But you know who does care? The guy that has 3 kids there that all of a sudden...
Oh, he can't do it.
So where does he go? Where does that guy go?
I guess they're going, well...
What's below McDonald's?
I guess they go to Target or Walmart.
No, you
and
want to
buy
do a drive-thru. Give me a drive-thru that's less than McDonald's.
They just don't.
Is Jack in the Box still around?
Jack in the Box. I don't think they must go buy food at home.
What's the worst fast food place that you think of?
Checkers.
Checkers?
Yeah.
Is that part of that Raceway thing that you say?
No, Checkers, the one on Yamada just closed. Couldn't make it.
Okay. I mean, how about with the place that has the blizzards?
Yeah. Dairy Queen? Or
how about that for food?
I don't know where there's a Dairy Queen around
there's
here.
some
Is
around
there?
here.
Really?
But I mean, I just want to know, like, I mean, McDonald's is probably, I don't even know what Five
look
Guys
at these
must
inflation numbers, 167%. Now, I don't really, I guess when you go to restaurants now to eat a nicer dinner, my kids were here this past weekend. We went out 2 nights. Now, the fact that I'm not drinking anymore, when I receive my overall check, it seems less than it was 2 or 3 years ago because there used to be 3 or 4 drinks on
Right.
it, piled on it.
But the food's crazy.
$25 a clip. So take that 100 off and add it to the food, and I'm about even. Yeah, the food bills are nuts.
But I will tell you
I don't get an appetizer now. I just get a main course.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I noticed a lot when I just came back from Philadelphia. People that live in South Florida, where we are getting ripped off, we live in a tourist area. So for instance, if you wanted Italian food here, or if you wanted a hamburger here, we're immune to these prices. I mean, we're paying $26.
Yeah, we're paying top dollar.
We're paying top dollar because people are on vacation here. I went up north. We went to this Italian restaurant in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. It was less money than the pizza places around here that like give you like pasta, like that also sell pasta and stuff. I mean, they were having $11, $12 hamburgers up there. They had pasta.
It's the same quality food, right?
Yeah, they had pasta that was $15. Their pasta that's $15 down here is $29. I mean, it's just, it's incredible how much we're paying down here being in a tourist spot with people on vacations. And people in Philadelphia are in the real world. I mean, they're still living in the real world.
But the supermarkets are about the same price. Well, Whole Foods is expensive. You go into a Whole Foods, you pay a lot of money for Whole Foods stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy. In Whole Foods now, they have the aisle of all these specialty drinks. Your head could, this kind of tea, that kind of tea, so many different colors, flavors, everything.
Right.
And like last week, I bought this coffee thing in the food aisle that had all the specialty drinks. I was in love with it. I bought one. I've been back twice looking for that same thing. I can't find it.
Just go to Amazon.
I threw the bottle out, but
Okay.
I know what it looks like. But I mean, it's like they sold it, and now they're not selling
That's
it
because they
anymore.
did a promotion and they came in there and it probably did good. Look, you know that
It was like some coffee with almond milk in it, with chocolate in it. It was unbelievable.
If you want to know how important like these influences are, look at Dave Portnoy. Look what he did with High Noon. I mean, High Noon is like is huge right now.
I did go to one of his pizza places over here that he recommended. It was horrible. What was the name of the pizza place? He recommended it was terrible. He has this thing. If you can pick the slice up
Yeah.
and it won't flop over, it stands up on its own, it's a winner. So I went there, flopped over on me.
Right.
It didn't stand up.
He had, he has this thing. He bets the horses a lot.
He's a big gambler, right?
Yep. So one thing he said, because he always goes to Saratoga, he says, if you see a gray horse, bet the gray horse.
Why?
He just says they run faster. So meanwhile, the gray horse, there was no really gray horse in the Kentucky Derby, and it was that Distant Dan or something that won. But in the Preakness, the winner was the gray horse.
Wow.
The gray horse won. I mean, you could just follow, you can follow him in horses and follow Pelosi. Paul Pelosi, by the way, if you want to remember, he bought options, not stock, options in NVIDIA.
Where is that today? That's up today because
So he bought. I just want you to know he bought options when the stock was $375. And today it's $1,020, and we're talking 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
So he's made a lot of money.
What do you think he probably made?
Oh my God,
100 million?
Yeah, 100 million.
That's what I
Figure it
think.
out. I say 100 million.
100 million. That's what I think he made.
Yeah,
on the video,
on his bet.
Right.
Pretty crazy. You think he had insider information?
No,
he has a big dent in his head from the hammer.
But they're admitting that you're allowed to have. That's the crazy thing. You're okay with insider information.
Well, realistically, think about it. Somebody in Congress makes $178,000 a year, and they have to have a house in Indiana or wherever they're from, and they have to have a place in Washington, D.C. And they have a family. How are they doing that on $178,000 a year? It's impossible.
And flying privately sometimes back and forth from San Francisco to.
Well, I guess that's their big donors that give them. You give them your jet, right? You know, you give.
Meanwhile, you know
Fetterman.
I
heard you're giving Fetterman. You're probably.
I like Fetterman now. I'm a Fetterman fan. Do you know where Pelosi bought a house though?
Where?
Naples, Florida. So I mean, go figure that one out.
Okay.
I mean, that's like as Republican
from California. I guess he's coming here to avoid taxes. He's going to become a resident in Florida.
He probably will be.
Well, I mean, in California, they have a great, you probably pay 13% of your income away. In Florida, you pay 0.
The guy that bopped him on the head got 30 years.
That's a crazy sentence.
Yeah.
I think that's excessive.
And by the way, just to let you know how crazy it is in the upper west part of our United States. So the state of Oregon, there is a problem that a lot of people that live in Oregon don't want to be so liberal like the people of Portland. So just now they had 13 counties, two-thirds of the entire state just voted to become Idaho.
So how does that work?
Which, by the way, is only 10% of the people. So think about this. 10% of the people live in two-thirds of the state. That's because they're farmers, they're people on their land, and their beliefs are completely different than the beliefs of people of Portland. So they want to be part of Idaho, and I have a funny feeling it looks like it's going through. Now, could you imagine it's now coming down to blue states and red states saying, I'm out of here.
So does that change the complexion of the Senate and the Congress?
It will change the complexion of probably some Congress. I don't know about the Senate. It'll probably be Idaho.
Because you get 2 senators,
right?
So what happens if they divide the state?
They still get to keep their 2 senators, but the Congress people, Idaho, will have more.
Yeah, because it's by population, right?
It goes by Idaho. Will get some more. But I mean, I'm just giving you some of this stuff isn't working. I mean, you got. You got California just spent $20 billion on the homelessness, and they don't know where the money went. I mean, $20 billion.
Look at Gavin Newsom's checking account. It's probably there.
Gavin Newsom cannot. I'm telling you, I'm still curious. You still get to see, like, for instance, you still see Joe Biden. Do you ever see that the White House has to clean up his rallies now? Like 9, he could talk for 4 minutes, and they have to clean up 9 things that the guy says. I mean, he's just.
You know what always amazes me is that helicopter on the White House lawn. It's so loud, and everybody's always screaming at questions at whoever the president is. He can't hear. I mean, is that a ploy just not to
Yes.
To have the chopper blades going?
That's when he takes his most important questions.
Right. He's like,
Remember he made that fake place, the studio, that it looks like a place that he could take questions?
Right.
That's gone. I mean, and by the way, what's coming, which is so great on the strategy, they have these debates that are going to be coming, which won't really happen.
They're not going to happen.
But I'm curious that Trump is going to pick his vice presidential candidate. They're going to destroy Kamala Harris.
Who do you think is vice president? First of all, by the way, he left town. He's not coming back to Florida. We're not going to see him anymore this season. He's done with the golf course. It closes next week, folks.
Right.
I'll be back here more, more big time
who
back in the studio.
It's interesting. I think it's going to be between. It could be DeSantis still. I think legally he might be allowed to still do that. Nikki Haley will not be his vice president, but she will. I'll tell you what. This deal that she just cut with him.
She made a deal.
She made a deal because she's voting for him and wants his. And she's going to campaign for him. My guess is she will be Secretary of State.
Okay, she was head of the UN.
And now she'll be Secretary of State.
I mean, the UN is such a biased organization. Would you like to be head of the UN? That's a horrible job.
But Secretary of State, what Blinken's doing, and I don't know if...
How about Mike Pompeo? What's he do? Because he already said he'll work for him.
Yeah,
he's the smartest guy.
He'll be in the organization.
Well, what will he do? He's not going to be chief of staff. Nobody wants that job.
Does Nikki Haley play the guitar like Blinken did?
No, he's pretty good.
He played, by the way, a Neil Young song. I mean, he's in a war-torn country. I mean, are these guys out to lunch? But
him and Bill Clinton on the sax, they could probably do a little.
But he didn't even know the song.
Work over here at
He didn't listen. Yeah, but he didn't listen to the words. The words were like not for. It wasn't a good thing. It was actually about protesting in the United States. It was actually about protesting. And stuff.
Condoleezza Rice is a concert pianist. I mean, the three of them could make a little band.
So let me ask you a question: if you're George Clooney and your life is perfect right now.
Right.
And you're going out and you're calling up your friend Randy Gerber and Cindy and you're toasting your Casa
and you live in Villa d'Este down in Lake Como, Italy.
Yeah, you're living good. And all of a sudden your wife says to you, by the way, I think I told the ICC they should lock up BB.
Right.
What do you say?
Oh, man, it's almost like my kid tearing up the diploma on stage, you know. I guess his career is ruined.
Done.
I mean, he's finished. I mean, I don't even know how you deal with that in a marriage. I mean, first of all, did she tell him before she made the statement? I heard.
If you're married and your wife is about to make a statement that she is one of the lead people
investigating
and actually recommended that the ICC should throw BB in jail. He's a war criminal. You don't think you talk about that?
So what that means, folks, is if Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, goes to Germany,
steps foot in Germany,
they will arrest him.
Right.
I don't know. He's in a tough spot. I mean, that's really going to mess up his career. I mean, I think, you know, it's funny. I saw Sylvester Stallone on Instagram yesterday. He was in a valet line getting his car. And he looked cool. He's, you know, it was just his birthday or his birthday's coming up. And they asked him who he's going to vote for president, who he likes. And Sly said, you know, I don't discuss politics. I'm an actor. Great answer.
Right.
Can't get in trouble with that.
Well, who was the guy that was something the god? Who's the guy that does? I forget his name. He has
sounds like
something the god, or you know, right. He's a black podcaster. I forget. He was just on The View the other day.
I don't watch The View.
Something with the C. Sharmila.
Oh, sure, Sharmila. Yeah, I did see that.
They asked him. He said, "I'm not voting for Biden,"
and he said he's not voting for Trump.
Well, he didn't say that. He said he's voting, but he's not telling them. He's really telling you he's voting for Trump.
Right.
But he doesn't want to, like, push that because they wanted him to push Biden. They lost.
Who is that guy? He's a rapper?
No, he's like has a podcast, but he has a huge following. He's very important.
More than us?
Yeah, I think he's
man. We got to get him on the show.
We don't have the black vote like he does.
We got to get some of that.
Yeah, so, Sharmila...
We talk basketball. We talk a lot of basketball.
But the Sharmila the guy, I mean, he was just, you know, he's looking, and he's trying to tell people, he's trying to say, listen, you can't vote for this guy. He's making mistakes that, how can you vote for a guy that can't walk, can't talk, can't do anything right now? So I can't wait for the debate to see it.
There's no debate.
What do you think the city?
I don't care. Joe Biden, and, you know, I told you I'm on record. I voted for him last time, and he lies. He lies and he lies. He lied when he said, I'll do a debate. I'll do two. He's not doing any debates.
By the way,
there's no debates.
How about when he does a commencement and he goes to Morehouse?
Right.
I mean,
I was a truck driver. I was this. I was
but
that.
He uses it as a campaign. It's not a commencement. Like,
right.
He's using it like he's campaigning. And these guys, he's telling these people, by the way, you're not well liked. It's going to be much harder on you. I mean,
it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well, the thing is that, you know, I think that he's making out that audience for being like the prosecutors are doing to Trump, like he's a chump. Like, these people are chumps. They're smart. And they're catching on, and they're saying nothing's happening in their community. There's 1 million immigrants, 20 million immigrants that came into America, taking a lot of jobs, and Joe Biden has made it more difficult for that community. So I think they're catching on.
I want to say one other subject. The Kansas City Chiefs field goal kicker.
What an idiot!
He's not. That's where I'm going to go again. She's not an idiot.
Why is he even bothering to engage and put himself in controversy?
I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why.
Is his church
No,
going?
I'm going to tell you why. The guy is very religious Catholic.
Right.
He went to give a commencement that he was asked to give at this small Catholic school that is very Catholic. Makes Notre Dame look like it's a synagogue.
Right.
So he was asked to go there. He gives a commencement and he says to the women that are in there, it's okay that you could be anything you want, but a lot of people will embrace getting married, having a family, and being a stay-at-home mom. Now, he wasn't talking for everybody's opinion that wants to be up and
he was demeaning to women.
He was talking to them, though. He was
demeaning the women. He was essentially saying to women, you're supposed to stay at home and have kids.
He said you could be whatever you want.
Read between the lines.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many people I know that we went to school with that all of a sudden they had a baby, they didn't go back to work, they said, you know what, I want to be a mother. I want to stay home with my kids.
Well, that's because, I have somebody in my family that did that, and the cost of child care was almost equal to her salary. So she would rather stay home with her kids. But look right now, do you see that thing in California? Maids are making $150,000 a year. They're fighting over them now.
They're doing that in Palm Beach. They're trying to steal
$150,000 a year for maid. But anyway, I think that his comment was demeaning to women. He shouldn't have said it. I understand it. I understand his audience liked it, but
that's who it was intended for. He didn't ask everybody else to come.
Going to go viral. He's a big Kansas City football star.
By the way, they liked it. The audience, there's not one person in that audience had a problem with it because he was talking to them. Just for the same fact is, if I told you have a person that's all right for Islam, and he sat there and he said to the women of that he's talking to, listen, a lot of you aren't covering up the way you should be. I see a little bit of your chin. I want you to cover up your jihad so it's just so your eyes. Would anybody say anything to him? No. We would just let him because...
I'm sorry, the football player that wouldn't stand for the national anthem, where is he today? What's his name?
Kaepernick?
Yeah.
He has $100 and some million.
From what?
From Nike. They gave him $100 and some million.
Nike, yeah, but I'm saying he never played another football game again.
Do you know what the coach Andy Reid said about this, about his field goal kicker?
What?
He said...
Well, Andy Reid, his kids are in prison and dead. I mean, he just can't even keep control of his own house.
He said, if he goes, I go. And they had Mahomes. They're all, listen, you don't have to listen to this guy. He's only giving you his opinion. I think he was right on. Bill Maher thinks the guy was right.
I'm taking the other side of it. I think it's demeaning to women. I get where he's coming from, but I don't think that you can say that out loud. There's certain words you can't call Jewish people. Certain words you can't call black people. There's certain things you can't say to gays. Certain things you can't say to women. Certain things you can't say to short Jews.
You can't say.
You're a short Jew.
Right. You can say that, but you can't say to someone to have a stay at home, have a kid.
Hey, by the way, all women are supposed to stay at home and have babies and not speak.
By the way,
I mean,
do you know how many women want that to be their number one choice?
If I said that to my daughter jokingly, she wouldn't talk to me.
No, if you said to her, by the way, if you said, little Cutty, would you like to stay at home and have kids and be the best mother that you can, or do you want to have My
political correct response would be you'd have to ask her that question.
Right, it's up to her.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them not to. He just said you can embrace it. You don't have to look at it like you're doing anything wrong.
It's the same thing I said last week with LeBron James. Because he's got millions of dollars and can dribble a ball doesn't give him a podium to be abusive. People would take that speak as abusive. It's abusive to women. I mean,
if someone went up to my daughter, and she's successful in the real estate business, and they went up to her and said, by the way, when you have your baby, if you want to stay home, if you wanted to stay home and raise your child to and that's what gives you enjoyment and you think it's important and you want to do that, great. I would have no problems with that.
All right. Well, that's
But you got to be able to afford it.
Well, this is why our show is so successful, folks.
You got to be able to
Govy
afford it.
has one side, I have the other.
I mean, you got to be able to afford it, you know.
Right.
And some people that can't afford it have to stay home.
Right.
But I can just give you one story.
And then we got to hang up. I mean, look at our clock. We used all our time.
Okay, one quick story. I have a person I know that I went all through school with.
Right.
And they were really bright. Matter of fact, so bright that I used to cheat off of her paper in school.
Okay.
And she used to let me look and everything. And she went to Penn, and then she went to Penn Law. And all of a sudden, after law school, and she was working for a practice, she got pregnant. And,
I know her.
And she had, you probably do, and she had her baby.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she stayed at home. And I'll tell you what, the only thing that bothered me is she needed a watch strap. And she comes in and we're yakking and talking, and her strap is hanging by a thread. Like her watch could fall off at any time.
Expensive watch.
Expensive watch.
Wealthy husband.
Needed this strap. So I'm putting the strap on. She goes, wait, let me just check with my husband to see if I can buy it. And it was like $75 at the time. It was calf. It wasn't like crocodile. It was like calf skin. So I said, well, what's he going to say? Is he going to say no? Like just look on the ground constantly to see if it falls, you can pick it. But it got to the point where the independence left that she needed him to make every decision, maybe because he
I'm
carries,
going to take the other side
because
of that.
maybe he makes the money. But I mean, when did it come to this?
Maybe that's the dynamics of the relationship, and she wants
Gotta ask for it.
No, maybe she wants to make him feel included in her life and what she's doing during the day.
What would you do if someone called you up and said, "Can I buy the watch strap?" What would you say?
I wish they would. I have so many bills coming at me from my whole family. You know, I wish somebody would call me.
It's
and
like,
ask
you know,
me, hey, I'm going to have to buy a tuxedo. You know, I wish
like
somebody would.
It's like the story that someone told me that his wife lost her credit card, and he started getting these bills, and the bills were coming in. And he didn't report it. And someone said, well, why aren't you reporting it? And he says, whoever stole her credit card is spending so much less than her that he's willing to pay it as long as she doesn't have it.
Anyway, Govy, great fun show. Glad you're back. It took us more than a week to get back in the air, but we're going to start rolling through this now. I guess they're coming and throw us off the stage, right?
Yeah. And we'll be back next week.
What day are we coming back? Tuesday or Thursday? I don't know. Thursday. All right.
Go Phils.
Go Phils. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
I never get lonely. I got these goals to keep me company.